I, Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans, hereby command that you do not listen or subscribe to the Dragon Ball 4 Life podcast. Whatever you do, would you defy royalty? No! Bye!
Your attention, please, and welcome to another episode of Dragon Ball 4 Life, where you come for the content, but you stay for the culture. And Trav, we talking about culture like Chi-Chi whipping up some Chi-Chis. You know, we talking about Master Roshi getting a little bit toasty. Because Mr. Popo do be in the know, bro. And yes, while Krillin do be chilling, we are the on fire force, and we betting it all on black. Frieza. Tis I, the frozen one, Mr. Matthew Porter, a.k.a. Mr. More Than Just a Pretty Jace, here with my pod tonic life partner, my forever Dende one, Planet Namek at the disco himself, Mr. Troto Trav. Talk to the people, Trav.
You know, it's the kid Troto Trav, and I always gotta check. Is this thing on?
It's
because when I say this, I say it with pride. Lord Beerus knows I've never been a cheetah.
Never.
And that's why I stay with one woman like Vegeta.
We love
and Matt always kicks it off from the start, and I'm here to support him as Super Saiyan Sharp.
Hey.
And we are here for the Dragon Ball for Life podcast. And Mr. Porter, who do we have today blessing us with his presence?
We have another brave challenger that has decided to answer the Dragoncall. We talking about black excellence. We talking about comedic excellence. We talking about nerd excellence. You know, he got 100 jokes, 100 skits. He's from New York. He love Vegeta and with all the shits. He's from New York. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the one, the only, who's blazing a trail of comedic superiority in the creation space, Mr. Darrian Bennett. Snaps all around. How are you feeling, good brother?
Welcome.
How are you feeling, good brother?
I'm good, but I don't got no rhymes. Like I feel like I need a lunch table, and we need to start beating on it or something.
Grinding.
Yeah, hit the grinding beat real quick. Yeah.
Cause y'all was busting out the can I curse?
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
Y'all busting out the motherfucking the super fly jive turkey.
Hey.
Like damn, man. I gotta get my bars up.
We always want to use our intro to pour into our guests and celebrate our guests and just put you up on the pedestal that you deserve to be on, good brother, because you have been killing shit. like killing shit. And it's so crazy like how the algorithms work, because it's like it was like overnight you wasn't in my algies, and then you was in my algies, and now you all I see, bro.
It's a great one too, because you know how sometimes you'll get certain things in your algorithms, you're like, yo, why is this?
I don't want this shit.
But nah, this is definitely one of the ones where it's like, oh, this is a great thing. This is a great content.
I appreciate it too, because it's funny how I used to like. When you're on the other side, you don't feel like you're being seen like at all. 1,000%. So I always appreciate that. Like I'm the one, I'll hit up mutuals and be like, yo, I saw you. Because I know how that feels and people want to know about it. So I'll be like, yo, I'll send it to them like, yo, I just saw you scrolling just now. And then I know what you mean by like the ones you don't want. Because there's a funny story. Like I feel like it really goes by whoever is like really posting like crazy. And like really feeding the algorithm, because there was this dude who he was on there like crazy. I don't know if you ever seen him. He had like the weird haircut, and he was always like kind of rage baiting people because he sounded like he wasn't black. But then he kept saying, "Y'all can't tell me not to say this word."
I think I know exactly.
He was all over
Trav used to send me these videos.
Yo, and then one day, boom, they was like, "Oh, son got a not like us case," and they was like, he just disappeared. He just disappeared after that. I was like, damn, man, the algorithm giveth and it taketh away.
Hey, you know what? When he started populating, I was like, man, you can't trust someone without a shape up like that. So
yeah, bro.
Somebody said that. It was like, I knew I shouldn't have trusted this dude with that hairline.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes, you gotta look up, you gotta browse a little bit by the cover.
For real.
Big facts. Well, Darren, you actually, as always, usually the case with this podcast, you stumbled into a question that I was going to save for later, but I want to ask you now, and then we can get into your nerd origin story. So, as content creators of color in this space, damn, content creators of color, we need to put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, right.
So, we often, a lot of people can feel like, it's a rat race. Like, it's just like, I got to step on this person's neck to get to the top, or like, oh, if they win it, I can't win. But not only have you said, fuck all the dogma, like there's enough space at the table for all of us. You actually openly promote other creators who are doing that at a very high level. You have a whole section of reels on your Instagram of other people's success stories. And when I saw that just made me so happy and joyful, just as a fellow content creator, because me and Trav, that's literally why we do these Dragon Calls, because we want to shed the light. Often. Yeah, and we want to shed the light on other people in this space, especially, people of color in the nerd space, because, we're underrepresented. I mean, we fucking shit up now. But up until recently,
we're just getting started, baby.
We've been very marginalized. So I wanted to ask the question, like, for you to actually use your platform to publicly post other people's shit, like, what was it that you like already had instilled in yourself that like you want to see other people win? You don't want to like shut the door on others so that you can get ahead.
I feel like, for me, I feel like it's like, for one, there's a journey that I went through as far as like this. I remember posting like a lot of people where you post some video that is like, now looking back, you look at it and you're like, this is clearly ass. Like, you post a video and you put it up, right? And it's this video of you, like, I was doing art at the time. So it's like me posting my art, and it's like, I feel like you come to the internet like, right? And everybody is like, who the fuck is this guy? But in your mind, it's like, why they don't like it? Why they didn't like what I did? And then, through my study and really looking into things, because I really am that type of person where I just like study things. I went and I looked, and the question came up of, are you thinking about yourself, or are you thinking about the consumer? Because the person that you want to like this right now, why would they like it? And that was a question I never answered myself. I never asked myself. I always asked myself, why didn't they like it? But the question is to ask yourself, why would they like it? And and that feels like it doesn't really make that much of a change, but it does. Because now when you ask yourself, hey, this picture that I put up, why would they like it? It's like, yeah, why would they? Don't know me. It's a nice picture, but like, they don't know me. They don't know what this is. It has nothing to do with them. If I put up a picture of some fruit, it's like, they have no reason. So now once you start answering those questions, it changes that. So the other layer of it is like, once I got to that area of doing that, I started to mix that with also expressing myself, because I realized that, you know what, this is really about expressing yourself, not just because this is all like television. It's the new television and everything, right? But if you're just like, buy my stuff, that's the Home Shopping Network. Nobody watches the fucking Shopping Network. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? We watch movies because we care about the actors that's in it, because this guy's famous. Or we watch
of people.
Yeah, we watch Dragon Ball because it's like, I'm interested in the characters and everything like that. So now once you start to think like that, you got to say, okay, let me make quality stuff that people like and that people relate to, because a lot of times that's the reason why we watch things. So I started to really be like, yo, let me just express myself. So one of the biggest things about me is I like other people's stuff. Like, I like to shout people out. I like to say, yo, this is great. So a lot of times you share that in the DMs and stuff, but now why not share it on your page? So I just really like today, a big creator, John Marco, asks, Billy Hahn just reposted one of his joints. I was like, because I was so hyped that him and Hindu Hops got reposted. I think this was I don't think it was Anime NYC. I think it was Comic-Con that they made the video about Hindu Hops saying that he feels like One Piece fans didn't go to college and they're not really smart or something. and Billy Hahn was like, look at my diploma. But Billy Hahn is like a huge creator, so for them to get that shout out is great. Now, I have nothing to do with that. That's not my video, but
right,
bro, that's a W. Like, why not shout out somebody else's W? And like you were saying, I really don't feel like sometimes people that's a mind frame of scarcity where you always think that there's not enough spots when that makes no sense like at
Facts.
all.
Mhm.
My
It's
come
the
up has
internet, bro.
nothing
It's
to
infinite spots, bro.
yeah, like
Like,
you literally can be like really like popping over here and nobody know you. But you've got
Mhm.
millions of followers over here and nobody know you. And then over here, this person has millions of followers and nobody know him. There's so many spaces to just exist. You don't have to, So that's my whole thing about it. Like I just like to show love because people gonna show love back to me, and that's how I was taught by, dudes that was older than me that put me in the position that I'm in.
And I think what you said is super important. Where you said, "Why would they like me?" Because, well, like what I'm putting out. Because I think that also is going to help with aspiring content creators or just people in general. Of like, hey, we need to like start thinking like you are your own personal brand in life, and
it's
when
all
you
sales.
start saying, why, like, start asking yourself that question, you speak about yourself in a positive light of, all right, what are my strengths, or what are the messages, what is the content that I want to put out that's going to get people to gravitate towards me. So I think that's like really important to have that mindset and to ask yourself that, because I think it gives everybody that confidence of like, okay, if I'm going to enter this space and put out my content, what am I going to bring to the table? And then you just really just nailed it of, you could have 1 million followers in your own space, and I could visit that your page and be like, oh, I had no idea that this person had this type of following. But it's just that confidence and believing in yourself, and also putting in the work to like really think about what it is that the consumer would like. So I think that's
This is
a
what makes
great
it
mindset to
so
have.
like it makes it so easy. But I went through the same thing, so I don't want to like say it like, oh, duh, no, because I
No,
didn't
right,
know.
right.
I did not know at all either. But once I really like, I saw somebody else said it. That's how I figured it out on YouTube
Hmm.
University. But like when I was on there and I saw, I'm like, wow, you got to really think of it like a room. If right now all three of us is in a room, and let's say somebody else just came in, we all in there, and they came in and was just like showing us a shirt, we're gonna be like, anyway, because we don't know who that is. Like, why is he even talking right now? But if he came in
Hmm.
with a Dragon Ball shirt, that's something we care about. So we would be like,
Absolutely.
and that's the mind frame you gotta have. Like, think about other people other than just you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Nah, bro. You just touched into something that me and Trav have been screaming at the moon for forever. It's like, especially working in the audio space, but also with like being a video content creator, having your medium, it's like you're talking with the people, not at the people, and like that's what makes them like hang on to it, because it's like, oh yeah, I felt like I was in the room with Darrian when he was making these jokes, like, oh
Right.
shit, he's talking to me specifically, versus just like you were saying, like when you're thinking about, oh, this is the shit that I like, or this is what I would like, and it doesn't connect with the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you can kind of tell the people that are doing it for like a vanity project, like they're doing it so that they can be on camera, so that they can like get what they feel is going to be like publicity. But
Yeah.
when you're thinking about how people are receiving it and like talking with them, like your analogy, like you bringing a random shirt, like, yeah, cool shirt, bro. What you bringing that Zenetsu shirt? You like, oh shit, Demon Slayer, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Like, it's definitely squad. But and I also love what you had said about like you've made showing love a part of your brand. And like that's like a mind-blowing thing, because like you said, most people just shoot the DM love. They're like, yo, bro, I saw what you're doing, it's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like a lot of people might opt to do a DM as opposed to like commenting on the post. They might just send it to them privately, as opposed to, like loud and proud, like, yo, bro, you killing shit. That's why, like, especially with your shit, or like Tony, or like a lot of these content creators that are killing it, like I want to make sure that I'm commenting, bro. Like I want you to, help get those views,
Right.
help
The,
get that
the crazy
engagement up.
thing is like what I was just saying. I got that from Tony. Tony
Let's
has he
go.
only has he has like he doesn't do it a lot where he gives like tips, but he has like two videos, two or three, where he talks about that, and he said it like himself. He was like, bro, the reason why he started doing sounds first was because he's like, yo, I'm doing skits and nobody cares who I am. That sounds crazy to hear Tony say, and
Yeah, word.
Black Bummer was saying it the other day when we were on the live
Shout
at
outs to
5
Black
on my
Boma.
on my Instagram. She was sitting there talking about it. She's like, And I told her, I'm like, that's a crazy thing to think about, of you getting 5 likes at one point in time. But she was like, yeah, it's like, I was only getting like 1, 2, 5 likes and stuff. But I had to understand, like, it's like build community. Hey, I'm getting 1 like today. I'm getting 2 likes. But when you ask her about it, she says the same thing. Like, I'm just on here because I just want to talk about Dragon Ball with Dragon Ball fans. When you make it something like that, that's like more human, you know, instead of kind of like just thinking about, oh, I'm, you know, this celebrity and stuff, it makes things a lot smoother. I'm really just about building community, and I love to get on there and talk about things, especially when I can't talk to everybody else about it, because people would be like, oh yeah, I didn't see that. What is that? I don't know what that is. So.
Just nod their head and smile like,
Yeah.
They hit you with the, I watch cartoons, like, watch your mouth.
You're a lot more sophisticated than that,
right? It's not just all cartoons, bro. Relax. Relax. But with that, again, shit you be saying is taking me other places. We gonna get to your nerd origin story eventually. I promise you. With that, you know, like content creators like Tony and Black Boma out here killing shit yourself. Like you said, it's crazy to think that there was a point in time where they were just out here getting a handful of likes here and there. Might had to put some shit in the archives because it didn't go off the way that they wanted to. Bring it back later. Do you remember like what your like, oh shit, they're getting it moment was? Like when you had like maybe last week you had 10 likes and then all of a sudden you had like 10,000 likes the next week. Do you remember like what your video was that the people like latched onto?
I remember, so this is the thing that I think is very, very big for creators to know. You're not going to know. I'm pretty sure whatever you're doing now, you're not going to be doing later. That's the majority of the time is going to happen. I started off, I was doing just straight artwork. Like that's what I was doing. I still have artwork from then. Somebody was supposed to be getting this, but I had this that I did of the Ginyu Force as like the Knicks, and this is when
that's just lit, bro.
Knicks was doing like they was doing great like 2 years ago or something like that, and I was just straight doing time lapse reels of me drawing characters, and then I realized, okay, people care more about characters that they care about, so I started doing more anime stuff, which was already what I was into, but I just wasn't doing it because I didn't know, and then I was doing that, wasn't really doing nothing. Then I started to do content creation advice. I was doing content creation coaching. And I was doing that for a while. That was cool. I was just having fun, like just teaching people things that I was like just learning. And that was cool or whatever. I was doing that for a while. I was doing that and kept doing it. But at the same time was doing basically like commentary stuff and about society, not society, but like career and celebrity and things like that. Then the infamous Drake and Kendrick beef happened, which I feel was a gold rush for a lot of creators.
Yeah.
Man.
For sure.
You know, sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
Yo, I definitely popped out because I came home from work one day. I was coming home from my former day job. I was coming back and I got home like real late. I'm always on social media. That's how I was up on stuff. So I saw that. I saw that he had that song came out with Future and Kendrick Lamar. So I'm like, oh, what's this about? Check it out. Instantly had a joke pop in my mind of Drake hearing it, but like being in like this funny situation of having like skin serum on his face and then the towel wrapped up mad high in his bathroom. And that reel went ridiculous. Like it went crazy. 5 million views. It's still like to this day I be seeing like stuff. And I was doing stuff a little bit before that, but that was the first time my face was in a video because I was doing like memes too. It went ridiculous. I was getting likes and comments and everything from everywhere. And people kept saying, yo, you're funny. I posted another reel about stuff. Yo, you're funny. I said, I guess I'm funny, right? So,
let's go.
So I just kept going with that. I started really taking it serious and realizing that that's something that I was always passionate about, but never really realized that I had a strength in that. And then I started writing jokes seriously like a comedian, started really learning how that worked. And that was it.
Well, you're killing it, bro.
Would you say like what you had just mentioned there were your tactics and strategy in terms of, because when people have moments like that, there's always that thought of like, all right, how do I
replicate
next step,
that?
Yeah, that next step is always key, because sometimes, they might go a route where like they just might do something super quick that maybe they could have put some more thought to it. So what are some things that you were starting to think about when you're like, okay, they found this funny, I am very passionate about this and I love doing this, but what can I do to not only just maintain and grow, but also still be myself and enjoy what I'm doing and continue to put out the content that I want to put out?
Well, like with that, I really don't think I really thought about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
There was this quote. A bunch of them have a bunch of quotes. I'm really like, I used to watch sports like crazy. I don't get to watch it anymore because all I watch is anime now, and I gotta like do stuff and stay ahead on that because it's my job to do watch anime and make anime jokes. But
what a job! What a job!
oh yeah, right. I always gotta remind people. They see me sitting there watching anime, and they're like, "Oh, can you do? I'm working right now." Oh, you're just watching anime. I said I'm working right
He said,
now.
"Bitch, I said what I said."
You said, "No, I'm working."
I said I'm working right now. Anyway,
Yeah. Now you
with my
distracted me from my work.
yeah,
Right.
with my foam slippers and stuff on. Anyway, but with that, like, there's this quote from a couple of like sport players have said it, like athletes, but Joe Burrow, I think, was the last one I heard where he said, like, they asked him about a play. He was like, I didn't make that play. I didn't make that throw on Saturday when you saw it. I made it on Tuesday. And the practice that happens, I had been practicing and learning things and all of those different things. It just comes out when it's time to do it. So because you practice so well and because you work on things so well in the past, like, I remember I was on a live. I wasn't live with him. I was on the live in the chat with Tony Stadavici, and I remember asking him on TikTok, I'm like, yo, how do you like never miss? Like, how did it? And this was at the time when I was just trying to like really get there. I'm like, yo, bro, how do you never miss? He said, that's because I missed so much before. And it makes a lot of sense when you really
Bars.
think about it. It's really about putting that work in. I I make 3 reels a day on every platform every day.
Let's go.
You're going to figure it out. If you make 3 reels on every and I'm talking about every platform. So when you do that much, that's a ridiculous number. That's just 21 a week just on the gram. You multiply that
Yeah.
4 or 5 times past that, you're going to figure it out. And then doing live stories and all these other things, you're going to figure it out. So for me, one of the key things was I got this advice from, I think her name is Hobie Kage, where she said, whenever something works, keep doing that thing that works. Which is another sports thing. Like if running the ball works, keep running the ball until they make you not be able to run the ball. So when I did that reel, I did a series right after that. I did Drake's reaction, then I did J. Cole's reaction, and then I dressed up like I was J. Cole in Africa feeding kids. And I was like feeding kids.
Being a humanitarian.
Yeah, I was like riding my bike and feeding kids in Africa. It was like somewhere in Africa. And then as soon as he heard the song, he like pushed the little kid out the way, like, excuse me. And then was like, wait a minute, is that my name out here? And then went and handled their business or whatever. But yeah, so
Nah, I love that, bro. It's just like everything that you're saying, and just like I said to you before, like you literally weren't on my algies, then you were all over the algies, and it's crazy to say about like the Drake time beef, because like that was around the time, because I remember when you popped up and I saw like all your shit, and I was like, damn, where my man's been at this whole time? Like this is my bag, like this is literally the shit that I look for, yo. So I was so hyped when I came across it, but like what you're saying, just like what Joe Burrow said, like it really is, and me and Trav, we talked about this. It's legit just like throwing shit at the wall continuously and seeing what sticks, bro. Just like
shooters shoot.
Yeah, shooters gonna shoot, bro. And just keep grinding and grinding and grinding. Cause like we say all the time, it really takes like one right person at the one right moment and your life has changed forever. like
Right.
literally in the course of 24 hours. But like you said, like when people see like those quote unquote overnight successes, like they don't hold on to the fact that no, this person was grinding for years to be able to be seen by this person that has just changed their life and just taken them to a whole different atmosphere. So hearing you say that, I feel like it's so inspiring for people to hear it in real time. Cause it's like, like you said, when you get the end result, a lot of people don't hold on to the hard work. They just hold on to the fact that the person's really good at what they do. They don't think about why and how they got good. It's just like, oh, of course Joe Burrow made that pass. It's Ice Joe. Like, of course, that's what he does, bro. And like you said, like, no, my man's been grinding. He's been throwing the football probably since he's like 3 years old.
They say Steph Curry shoots 1,000 shots a day, like
day.
just to make one shot in the game that you go crazy over. And it's like, bro, I had to make so many shots to hit that one shot.
1000%. But I love that, bro.
And then you had mentioned too that because I mean Matt and I we talk about this all the time, and it's always refreshing when we come across somebody that I feel like has similar interests and experiences to us. So what was it like for you being the kid that is heavily into sports, watches it all the time, but also is big nerd on the inside as well, loves anime, loves all that? Because Matt and I always say all the time, when we grew up, it was kind of like that, like closeted secret of, we're big anime fans. I don't know who I'm supposed to like talk about this with. And then, but like now it's totally different. Like now it's kind of like, if you're not into anime, then like
you don't watch anime, bro? What are you doing?
Yeah. So what was it like growing up for you, balancing like those interests, but also really just trying to like build your own community as well with those that were into anime, and being able to kind of like freely talk about it like you are now for a living?
Especially growing up in New York. That's like a whole nother layer to it added.
So it's funny, like, because for me, I wasn't like, it went through waves, because when like I was a kid, I was super into Dragon Ball and Gundam Wing, Toonami every day.
Boy,
yo,
let's go.
Every day coming home and watching Dragon Ball, going and trying to print out all the. I'm showing my age right now.
No, we right with you, bro.
No. Listen, we speaking the same language.
Like printers out of ink.
Yeah, yo, you trying to print out pictures of Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan 8, shit that's just not canon.
Those fan art used to be crazy.
You sitting there trying to print out all of this stuff that's not canon, lying about stories that's not even real, trying to get the VHS for movies and everything like that. There was no streaming services like that. That was what I was always doing. And I had blew somebody's mind the other day, because I was talking about something that wasn't anime that used to come on like I think after Dragon Ball Z Reboot, and they were like, "What the fuck is Reboot?"
Bob Enzo, I love Reboot, bro. That was my shit. Dog.
They was like, "What the fuck is Reboot?" I said, "Oh man, you don't know, man."
Bro, when Enzo got trapped in the game and came back as an adult with the one eye, dog.
I was like,
goated,
bro, Sailor Moon, Gundam Wing, Dragon Ball Reboot. That was my day. So I was always into
Hamtaro was my shit too, bro. Like low key, Hamtaro was dirty. That's the
only thing
bro.
I really didn't get into, and that's one that I still wouldn't get into. But so it's funny, because we were talking about it the other day. Boma was talking about. She was like, "Yo, there's this thing that goes around of I was bullied, and I don't doubt that it did happen for some people, but everybody likes to jump onto it like everybody went through it. I was not bullied for being in the anime, right?" And she also talked about she talks about also that and I agree with her that some people, it's like sometimes when you was feeling like you was treated weirdly or something like that, it was like you did something to get
might have did some weird shit.
Like I can admit
we missed that context of the story a lot.
Exactly.
That's a big part of it, bro.
When you Naruto running through the freaking hallway and you like, I wonder why I ain't get no bitches, like that's why, bro. I'm sitting here like
that's definitely the untold side of it, bro.
Like, what the fuck? He was like, I was a victim. Meantime, he was like this, running through the hole. Like, bro, chill. Like, you scared away the hose.
You running into people. Like, we just trying to get the third period, and I gotta like sidestep you.
Yeah.
Somebody bump you by accident. You trying to go Super Saiyan on them, bro. Listen, like, yo, stop growling at me, bro.
I don't doubt at all, right? Like, I look at what stuff I was doing. I don't doubt at all the reasons why I wasn't getting no buns at a certain point in time because freaking I was at lunch in freaking like sixth grade, and everybody else is like, trying to look their coolest, looking at shoes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
We over here having a whole tournament of freaking power over here, right?
Yeah.
3 of us fighting each other, throwing fake Kamehamehas at each other and everything. So it's like, come on, bro.
He's like, yo, I got my Beyblades in my book bag.
Yeah.
we blading at lunch, bro.
And then like at a certain point in time, like I kind of like had a moment where I realized, I'm like, damn, man, we look kind of crazy. So I completely stopped. I completely stopped. And then that's when I say, like, I, got into like sports and stuff and kind of got away from a lot of those things, but never really left it because I always was in the anime, but nobody talked about it. I feel like people talk about it now. Nobody talked about it. Like, you never really came to a friend and was like, and I did not do it because I was ashamed of it. It just wasn't something
you had
really
nobody to talk
about.
to. Yeah,
like
that was me. That was our experience too. Just
like nobody talked. I literally felt like the only person watching Death Note. Like nobody else was talking about it at all. And then now it's like it's widely talked about. And I also like as an adult, I'm like, bro, I just want to talk about this. So let me find people who do talk about it. And you realize as an adult, like just go. There's people out there, and the internet makes it easier to do that. So that's kind of like my road that I went through as far as that.
Yeah. No, it's like it's one thing where you have to. We always talk about like embracing just what it is that we're fully into and what we like. But to your point, yeah, I mean, like I'd be in class in between periods sometimes, like just drawing like fan art of Goku, Goten, like a future warrior or something like that, and like you look around like, damn, I can't show this to nobody.
Where you proud of shit of your drawing and can't share it. You're like, damn, it's on fire. No one's gonna get it. Yo.
Go home to mom and dad like, yo, look at this created character Chrono that I just made. He can go Super Saiyan 4 at the age of 10. My parents like, okay.
Yeah, all right.
I think that's what did it too, because I remember like drawing a lot of characters, and I always think about how like nice I was with it at that point in time as a kid, where I was drawing Goku and stuff straight from watching an episode, drawing like Gundam Wing characters straight from watching the episode, not even needing a picture to look at. And it's like the discouragement kind of came where I'm drawing it, and then I don't got nobody like the internet. You didn't have where you was able to post, so it's like, all right, let me show this to mom or something. Let me show this to a friend, and it's like they just like, that's fire. There's not really they didn't know who it was. And then I remember showing my grandfather. This is the funniest thing. Rest in peace to him. But I showed him a picture of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He was a preacher. He was a deacon in the church. Went crazy. That's the devil. Get the devil out of my house.
The devil is not
my house. I know the devil when I see him. I'm like, that's Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
They said we need to purify you. What is that?
Word. Start holy water at you, bro.
He went crazy.
I rebuke you.
He went crazy. I get it now that I'm older, but when I was a kid, I'm like, you don't see how peak this is?
Right, you're like, yo, this on fire. Yeah, he's coming from the depths of fire. Hold on, like
he said, "But pops, my drawing skills are OP. Why don't you appreciate this, bro?"
OP as in the oppressor.
That's facts, bro. And it's so funny how like like when you would have that moment of courage where you're like, you know what, I am gonna share this with someone, and it was always the wrong guess. It's like, oh yeah, what's that, Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, no, this ain't no damn Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. What's that, Pokemon? No, this ain't Pokemon.
That was a favorite thing. That was a favorite thing. You over there drawing them Pokemons. Like that was
them Pokemons.
Yo,
them Pokemans. Get them Pokemans out of here.
Pokemans was definitely Pokemons and Yu-Gi-Oh are always the two guests that everybody took. It's like, bro, this don't look shit like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon.
No, not at all. Like, what are you talking about? I know a Pokemans when I see it.
know a Pokemon.
You gonna look at me in my eye and tell me that's not a Pokemon?
To this day, my mom thinks every anime character is Goku. She be, "Are you watching
all of them, bro?
You watching Goku again?" Yeah, ma. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh man, that's so. So you had mentioned like your Toonami lineup. Was Dragon Ball the anime that got you into the shits? Like that was the one that was the OG anime for you?
I would say actually the first thing I ever saw would probably be it's either one of like the really old ones like Akira, where I didn't know what it was, or it was Pokemon. I would say Pokemon because that was the one that like I was in. Like I was drawing Pokemon. I remember what really got me into art was there was this kid that was drawing his own Pokemon fan fiction, and I was like, he was so good at it. The skills he was using, and I remember the main one. He had like the color pencil skill where you color the outside lines real dark and then shade in the inside. That just looked ill to me. He was nasty with it, and we didn't even consider Pokemon an anime at that point. It was just a cartoon.
Just a cartoon. Yeah, just a cartoon.
I didn't even know what anime was. Like it was just like Pokemon was just, you know. But then after that, what really like got me like where I was all in was Dragon Ball and Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing and Dragon Ball are forever my top. Like
those
my
are my
favorite.
top two, bro. Gundam Wing,
Forever
dog.
my favorites.
I rewatch that whole shit like at least once a year, dog.
You about to have me rewatch Gundam Wing because I ain't seen Gundam Wing in years.
Bro, I'm mid rewatch right now actually for this year, bro.
The intro,
dog, one of the best intros of all time, bro.
I love
it.
that.
One beat.
It ended up coming back up because I never remembered the actual characters until I was doing something 2 days ago. I think I was doing 2 days ago with Bad Blur Bay, and I was looking at I was looking at characters that like girls like that they crush over certain characters, and then they came up because they were saying like these characters were the characters like they were almost like the original crushes. All of the guys who were in
Troa Barton gets all the bitches, bro.
And I forgot all about that. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about these aura forming ass niggas, man.
Yeah, you got like Hiro, he's like the mysterious one.
Yeah, Duo got the swag with the long hair and the braid.
Yeah,
Troa the silent stoic one.
I forgot about these dudes.
Nah, Catcher didn't get no hoes, bro.
Catcher didn't get no hoes. At the country club.
Oh, you right. He was rich. You right. He had the money. He had the money.
Yeah.
And then Wu Fei just had the moves, bro.
Yeah. Did you any of y'all? Matt and I have talked about this before, but like when you watch it again as an adult,
not a kid show.
You're like, there's a lot of complexities,
bro. Like it's a political anime, bro. Like it's like politics and like fucking downtrodden people rising back up. I had
a joke about that. Like you do kind of realize, like I feel like I'm not winning a fight against a Japanese kid, man, because I feel like they're raised with things that are way more like sophisticated,
like ready to go.
Like, I really feel like you know, I got a daughter. I feel like my daughter versus like a Japanese
girl dad.
Like, she's gonna get her ass whooped probably because she's over here like, all right, well, you know, I had this to do today, but I guess whatever. And the other one is just like, been dealing with just the economic struggles of like what the because the things that they're introduced to in these like I always talk to people about the difference between the animation over here and the animation over there, and the reason why people would say stuff like cartoons is because a lot of stuff that's over here is like just brain rot, where when you watch something like Dragon Ball or One Piece, and there's so many different like pieces of information that's subtext and morals and all these different things that's in there that adults haven't even come to terms with yet. It's just man, that's why it's so good.
And to that point, I literally my wife, she was visiting her family over the holidays, and one of her cousins, he's in college. he's in a fraternity, and so it's kind of like when you look at the outside optics, you would think like, oh, he's the last person to be into anime. He had a Jujutsu Kaisen t-shirt on, and she's like, you watch anime? And he was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I got into it. I've literally taken messages that I've learned in shows and applied them in my life. It's literally changed. Like, I've learned things that have really helped me in my own everyday life. And that's what you were just saying. Like, there's so many different layers to it where you can watch this show and enjoy it for the entertainment, but you can also pull messages and values from it that you can use and apply in your everyday life.
Yeah, 100%. I can think of, I can't really, that's one of the craziest things. You can't really name an anime that's really brain rot. Like, you can't really name an anime that's like, oh, there was no message in this at all. Every one of them have something in it. I would say the closest I'm seeing might be like Solo Leveling right now, because Solo Leveling is just like this dude running around just beating people up. But I mean, even in that, even he's just running around just stunting on niggas left and right. But I feel like even with that, I guess I can kind of like take the message from it of just like you said, sometimes you just gotta pop out and show niggas. Maybe that's the message.
You know what? That's what it is. Like Solo Leveling. That's their core imagery.
The message
pop
is
out and show niggas.
Exactly. The message of Solo Leveling is sometimes you just gotta flex on niggas and just wear black.
And not only that, I feel like, and not only that, like you said, like with manga and anime and, you know, just like Japanese culture, like they're very intentional with their messaging. And I feel like we're saying, like when you do get a show that is like quote unquote low vibrational, I feel like it's extremely intentional. It's just like, hey, like you're stressed out, here's this show to just like let you decompress. Like, we don't want you to overthink it. Like we don't have no subplot. Like just have fun, yo. Like me and Trav's just starting to get into Shangri-La Frontier, and I remember
I just got put on to that.
Hey, let's go. So I remember I kind of stayed away from it because I was scarred from, like, you know, Sword Art Online season 2. like how like we always talk about it, shit started off so fire, and then the second season not really for me. Same with like Dot Hack Sign. Like it started off real strong and kind of trailed off. So like those virtual reality animes, I was just like, I don't really it wasn't for me. So we had the fortune of interviewing a voice actor on the show who he's like, no, give it a try. It's something different. And I was watching it, and I felt like Shangri-La Frontier, like it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like they're not trying to like take on a corporation that's trying to enslave Earth through a video game. Like these are just guys who just love playing video games and they just want to be the best. It's like a Pokemon trainer in a video game. I just want to be the best at this game. It's like it doesn't require me to overthink about it. I just turn it on and just watch them have fun, and they're like, lets me have fun.
Yeah, it legit feels like you're watching an MMO. Just and like you said, sometimes it is nice to watch something where you're like they're not taking themselves too seriously, and you know exactly what you're getting into, and makes it for good, easy watching, but also it's still entertaining.
I'm not as far into it as I want to be, but I'm getting into it.
It picks up. It gets good.
A friend of mine, he put me on to it, Anime Addict. He was like, yo, you gotta check it out. So I was like, cool.
1000%. Nah, it's a great show. It's a great show. It's like I said, it's unique in its delivery. Like it's extremely self-aware. Like it's like it knows what it is, and it's like this is what we got for you. Take it or leave it. Have a good time.
I've been learning not to take animes as serious. Like I feel like when you grew up and you started with Dragon Ball Z, a lot of times that's where you end up taking it.
the bar set real high.
But like really taking stuff. There's a level of where you're taking it too serious, and there's a level of where it's like, okay, relax a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's really hard to explain, especially when you have something like Dragon Ball, where if you started with Dragon Ball, the person that like opened my eyes to this was Black Bowman, where if you started off with Dragon Ball, you don't take it as seriously because you understand it kind of started off as a gag manga. But if you started with Dragon Ball Z, you're like, yo, the power levels, and then this, and then that. And then when you get to stuff like Super, you're sitting there like, Frieza wants to make a wish to make himself 2 inches taller. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
It's like you gotta realize that not everything is kind of like on that level of everything being super serious. Sometimes it's a mixture of battles and jokes and all these different things, and it's just like you kind of just gotta balance it out. That's why a lot of people have like they're kind of like annoyed or whatever with Daima, even though people don't give it a chance.
Daima,
I love
bro.
Daima.
Daima is amazing.
Daima is one of the best animes of last year and this year.
It's so fun.
I don't understand how you
fun.
can be a Dragon Ball fan, period, and see Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3 and not
geek. It's geeked, bro.
like, bro, what?
But Darren, I think you said something that I've never really thought about. Like, if you started with Dragon Ball Z, which like most people in America did, like you are pre-exposed to it being like way more serious. Like there isn't like you get a couple, like the driver test episode, like you get a couple funny episodes here and there, but for the most part, like it is an extremely serious tone. But then like
it's literally the only serious I really realized it. It's literally the only serious installment
of Dragon Ball. Yeah, that's facts. That's super facts.
Super is goofy, Dragon Ball is goofy, and then Daima is a little goofy. Like each one of them is kind of like lighthearted. Z is the only one that's like, I will fight you for my world.
Right.
Like,
and even with the music, the tone, everything. Like
and Trav, you say this all the time. Like when you get invested and you start like getting into like Toei and Shueisha, like Toriyama is like a big ass kid. like his humor is like schoolyard humor. It's like he likes like fart jokes and shit. Like that's like his bag. So like when you look at it through that lens, it's just like, of course this is gonna be funny. Like of course it's gonna be comedic and you're gonna laugh at it.
That's why I love what he did with the names, because what it does is it corrects it. Because now when your grown ass is sitting in the room talking about the Ceruleans fought their hardest against the Stradarians, and you're like,
you talking about
what? The Ceruleans fought against the Gorillalians. All right, calm down, bro.
Yeah. You sound hungry, man. While we're on Super and talking about not taking it too serious or not, in which I've been on my whole like train about this so much, but I gotta ask you, as like you're a Vegeta fan. My favorite character is Future Trunks. How you feel how they did my guy in the Goku Black Art? I just think justice for Future Trunks, man.
Well, see, how you
feel about that?
So first of all, I'm gonna be the one that like you're probably not gonna like my answer too.
Here we go.
I'm already like under fire because I don't like Gohan.
Me neither.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Me neither. You're straight. This is a safe space.
I'm real big on fuck Gohan. I don't like Gohan, right? And to me, Trunks is like lower than that because
plot twist.
and it's not even that I have a disdain for Gohan because it's not even Gohan's fault. It's really Toriyama because they built him up to be this.
He was supposed
character.
to take over.
Yeah, he was supposed to be that guy.
That damn fan pole.
Yo,
that fan pole cost him his spot.
For months, bro. Like for months, you were just like, yeah. They were building him up to be, since he was introduced into the show, he was like the strongest, the chosen one, and you were waiting for this moment. And like, I feel like as an adult, you would have realized that this wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Like if you were looking at it, you'd have been like, I don't know how they're going to switch this story from Goku. And I don't think they should switch this story from Goku. I think they should leave it. But as a kid, you like, what are we going to see from Gohan? And then not see nothing. You're just like, so I only rock with Future Gohan. Trunks, I don't care about Trunks. Like, so like, I don't dislike Trunks. I just don't, I'm eager to know the reason why you even care about Trunks, because Trunks is like this filler character. Like I don't even know. I don't understand like what you can really do with him. They're going away from that with the new animes. I'm noticing they're going away from this whole like all inclusive cast of fleshed out characters. Where if you watch Sakamoto Days, it's just straight up one guy going crazy. and Solo Leveling, it's like one guy going crazy. You can't even, if I was to put, I had your whole family in danger and ask you to name 5 characters from Solo Leveling, that would just be it.
Oh
Because
man.
nobody can
I'd be
name.
like Solo is 1, Leveling is 2.
You see what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's intentional. They're focusing on one character and getting away from like that My Hero Academia and Naruto type DNA of having all of these characters that you knew. And it's just, it's just something different. I like it because it's something different. But people always ask about all these characters in Dragon Ball Z. It works, but there's not really much you can do because it's hard to flesh out.
Yeah, it's the Goku
You got
and Vegeta
Goku
show.
and you got
Yeah.
Vegeta, and once you get to Trunks, you're like, wait, what does he do? So what is your reason for even liking? How did you get to liking Trunks?
Where, bro? TED talk him, Trav.
So for me, it was, when I was getting into Dragon Ball Z and really into it, that's when I started to like really venture and see, because obviously when you first get into Dragon Ball Z, you learn that, oh, this John been out in Japan for a while. So it's like, so I remember first seeing scenes from Future Trunks versus Frieza, and I'm also like, just from anime shows, always huge into swords. And so when I saw the way that he entered into the series,
one of the greatest introductions of a character of all time.
who is this bull that's just popping up out of nowhere, just easily killed Frieza with ease, and like just the coldness of and quickness and efficiency of how he did it, I just like really fucked with that. And so I always, and then when I watched the history of Trunks, that was like the only, you even say like dark special within the series. And so I was just like, man, oh, he came back from the future, and really like his shit was all fucked. And I love Future Gohan too. And so I've just always been like such a huge Future Trunks fan. But I do get it in terms of like when you talk about all these different like side characters and everything. Because all right, you came from a different timeline, you're here, you are helping out, but at the same time, it's kind of like, all right, we still are trying to see the journey of Goku and Vegeta and like all the other characters. But yeah, like that's how for me when I first saw Future Trunks, I just thought he was a badass with the way that he entered. But then like in the Goku Black arc,
they did him dirty. They did him dirty, bro.
It was just like, I thought the ending of just like putting him in a duplicate and then another timeline where now you just got 2 of them. I was like, well, I mean, like,
and see, and that's the problem. Like people right now, everybody's always talking about bring Nappa back, bring back Raditz.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
you're going to be mad.
I don't need Nappa and Raditz.
I'm not there. I'll say that.
What is Nappa gonna do? Like Nappa gonna get waxed by Pan. Like what we need Nappa back for, bro?
He gonna come
There's
back.
Too many characters, and when you start introducing all of these characters, that's what's going to happen to them. They're gonna get nerfed because there's no way for them to exist like there's a main character. That's it, bro. Because if you don't treat it like that, you know what happens? You get Jujutsu Kaisen, and you get
I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
You get nobody knowing what Yuji does. Like Yuji was the main character, and then wasn't.
Wait, that's actually so funny that you say that, because I remember when I tried to watch. So I like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I try to get Allie, my wife, into it because I got her into anime by starting with Death Note, and so since then she's been very into anime.
Always, I did the same thing. The same thing.
Yes,
that is anytime you're trying to get somebody into anime, that's what you start with. I have a whole theory behind it, but that is what you start with it. I posted a reel and went viral with it because everybody was like, "That's what you start with."
Yes.
You always start with Death Note. It's easy. It's short. It's not too fantastical.
It doesn't get like into super zany. Like one of my boys, he tried to get his girlfriend into anime by starting with Attack on Titan. I said, bro, what are you doing? I said, what are you trying?
That's
to
heavy,
get her
bro.
To break up with you? Yeah. So we did when we did try to watch Jujutsu Kaisen. She said the same thing that that you were just saying, where she was like, it's kind of really hard to follow like who I should be invested in or who is the like. Obviously, they started off with Itadori being like the main character, but at the same time, they have all these other characters where you can't. It makes it sometimes hard to really like follow what is what are their powers, what are they doing, and then who should I be really like paying attention to. So yeah, no, she said the same thing about jujitsu.
Yeah, the main character really is Gojo. We've never
Yeah.
seen an
Satoru
anime
Gojo.
before. We've never seen an anime before, ever, where they drop a movie and then the main character is not in the movie.
Yo,
Word.
yeah.
He literally was just not
Word.
in the movie. That's wild. They didn't even talk about him in the movie.
Yeah, not at all.
So I was like, yo, that was wild. I realized it the other day when actually like Bowman said it. I was like, yo, what the? I was like, wait a minute, he wasn't even in the movie.
Bro,
Yeah.
did you were you watching
and
that movie?
they gave Yuta like the star treatment. They was just like, no, he one of them ones, bro. Like,
were y'all watching that movie like wondering like as it's happening when you were gonna ever see like the Yuji had like all right, Yuta, okay.
I didn't even think about him. I didn't even
yeah, me
he didn't
neither.
even come to my mind. I was just wondering where in the timeline it was. That was the first thing I was like, when did this happen? Am I watching the wrong thing? That was like my whole thing. But
I thought that at first too. Like, damn, did I miss something?
Yeah,
like,
but I never was sitting there like, I wonder where Yuji is. I ain't give a fuck about no
Yuji. Y'all have me on the other end of the spectrum because Trav, you know this. I am like infamously known for I hate the main character of any show. Like it's always the second lead that I've always gravitated towards, and I feel like it's a combination.
You don't like
of
Gon?
I tolerate Gon. But Killer was my guy. Killer was my guy.
Yo, you ain't see my Nen start acting up. Your camera was glitching. That was my Nen.
You about to take me out.
Yeah, he said, hold on. We ain't gonna stand for that. Hold on.
So, cause you know what it is. So, like, I would consider myself a bit of a cinephile. Like, movies and TV was like always my shit. So, like, I grew up in a household like full of older brothers, but like I couldn't really hang out with them until I got older. So, like, when they would babysit me, they would just like sit me in front of the TV. So, like, Saturday morning cartoons, anime, Toonami, like that was like my company. So I got really into shows that had like good stories. And it always would bug me when the main character could like circumvent the story through plot armor. And that shit would bug the shit out of me. I was like, wait, y'all spent 10 episodes building up that, oh, this is what we need to do. And the main character can just go around it. And they don't need to do that no more. So I grew up like Vegeta, Matt from Digimon, Misty, Troa, like all the second lead of every show, I feel like is the best flushed out character because they don't have the main character energy to protect them from the story. So it's like
you are right. Good. You are right. That's always gonna happen. I think that's because they have. It's almost to go back to sports. Nobody's favorite like player is usually the quarterback, and that's really because all of those other players they have the ability to move around and have personality and everything. A quarterback can't. A quarterback has to be like this one way, and anytime they do have personality, they crash and fail. We saw that with Cam Newton, where it was like he was doing his thing for a little while, but it was like too much personality. People start to just attack you. It just doesn't work.
And the league figured him out. Hey, like, we know what you're gonna do. It's over for you, bro.
I mean, yeah, that and if you ever get a chance, I get what you're saying. If you ever get a chance, I always tell people this. If you ever get a chance, go back and look at the game after he lost the Super Bowl, the Hall of Fame game of him versus the Broncos, and what the refs allowed to happen to him. That wasn't just them figuring him out. The refs, they were mad. They didn't like that personality coming out.
Oh yeah, Cam got no calls. He got 0 calls.
As a quarterback, you're too protected. Like you're in a position of being protected and stuff. So if you sitting there showing off, they're gonna be like, all right. And he was getting hits. I've never seen anybody get hits.
Pancake, like, that's fast.
I'm surprised he lived through. Like those were like crazy hits where they clearly were just like, let him get hit, and it was just amazing. But back to the point of what I was saying of like, that's why you need to just be boring in that position. And when you're the main character, we were talking about this because there was a guy who said that that he didn't feel like Goku had any type of progression and any type of like evolution, any type of development as a character. And I was saying like the development of these characters as a main character has to be flat, because if if Vegeta was the main character, that show would fail, because the social media, every time that I changed what I was doing, every time you change what you're doing as far as like being a content creator, you're going to lose the fan base that was with you, and now you have to gain a new fan base because they followed you for Dragon Ball content. So if you switch to doing now One Piece, you're going to lose guys, and then you'll get new people. If you were doing artwork, you're going to lose people and get new people. So if Vegeta was trying to enslave the universe, and then all of a sudden he became a family man, you would lose a whole bunch of people that followed it for that. And then you would get, because it's too many different changes. So it looks cool because he has the freedom of not being the main character and not holding the show, but we ignore that guy who is there and is supposed to be like the boring character, which is Goku. Like, we need for our main character to not ever change his goal ever.
Right. And Goku being who he is a big reason why a lot of those other characters have their development. And
Yeah.
if you have
He's the anchor.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's I totally am with you there.
I'm not saying that you've convinced me, but I like what you're saying.
You're right. You're 100% right. That's why my favorite character is Vegeta. But I do know that and look, most main characters are like, you know, boring if we look at it exactly like that. Like my only main character I probably actually like is Gon, and that's because of like the focus and everything. But he's not even the greatest main character because he just lost to everybody.
Right. And then the one time, and then when he does like beat a major one, he uses up all his nen, and now has
bro.
That has
and,
to get it
and
back.
then he down for like 8 episodes.
We all know the best character in that show is Killua and
Canary.
Oh, Canary!
I love Canary. No, Killua
so
was my
mad
guy.
about Canary.
She need more screen time.
That genuinely, I remember the reel I made about that. That genuinely broke my heart. Like, I was sitting there, I was like, "Oh, this is fire! Oh, look at her cooking!" Headshot. I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
I know, right? Like
that shit hurt, bro. That shit hurt. Man. It's like losing Basquiat a second time because that she's just a Basquiat painting. I was like, not Canary.
Like, even wait, bro.
No.
Headshot.
Word. But you actually touched on something that I've never even really like given no thought. Like with what you're saying, like with holding people's attention with like what they came for. It's making me think of like animes that like tried to do like a tonal shift with the second season from the first, and that shit definitely doesn't work. It's just like, wait a minute. Like the only anime that I could probably think that has pulled that off successfully is like Digimon, like the first 2 seasons, but they kept a lot of the original play. They literally had the original players like usher you into the new season. It was just like, hey, it's Ty and Matt. Here are our new friends. Like NTK and Kari still stayed around. So I guess it wasn't as different, but that's facts. Like shows that have like been a specific way and then they want to switch it up for the second season to like try to interject some like new energy into it. It's definitely just like, I don't know if I like this anymore.
That's why anytime you do content, it's like you really got to realize that it is a show. So and it's you have a channel. So you got to take pointers from these shows. And when they do certain things, there's a reason why they do it. There's a reason why it's successful. Everything is about consistency and about thinking about the viewer. So if you're just doing whatever, it would be like, you know, people. I used to always hear this. People would be like, they're watching certain shows and they would be like, "Yo, man, I hate that I see this on this show. I hate that." I'm like, bro, do you know what channel you're watching? Like, that's what this channel is about. People would complain about MTV and would be like, I wonder why I keep saying this. I'd be like, all you gotta do, if you want to know if you should be watching this channel, or if to basically like temper your expectations with the channel, is look at the commercials. If you look at the commercials and you're a guy, you're like a 35-year-old guy and you complaining about the shows, go look at the commercials. If the commercials are for tampons and freaking you know, pregnancy tests and stuff like that, you probably shouldn't be watching, because this ain't for you.
Yeah, you're not the target audience.
You're not the target audience, bro, because
Capitalism is a motherfucker.
the advertisers are not on here for no reason, bro. Like
That's why they
we
got a
don't use
marketing and
pregnancy
analytics
tests.
team, market research team.
So great segue to the next question, Trav. So in terms of like marketing and performers, you have an extremely unique presentation of what you're doing. Like what you're doing is done by other people, but like how you do it is extremely unique to yourself. And I feel like it's what captures people's attention. Like I said, when your first reel that I saw pop up, just like your hair, the hat, the fuzzy shiesty, which I love, bro. Like this just fire, yo.
And the incorporation of anime and culture.
Yo, and then, yeah,
it's so good.
look, there it goes. Like, there it goes. Yeah, but so I wanted to pick your brain on that. So like being from NY, who's like historically known from producing some of like the greatest content, performers, you know, Broadway musicians, music, you know, everything. Being from a place that has so many creatives and performers, was setting yourself apart and giving yourself that unique aesthetic like something that you're like extremely conscious about?
It's crazy because not really. Like it's once again it's like that practice like you play thing. I know certain things work a certain way, but I also know that if you're not doing things authentically, then it's not going to work out. So it's a
Looks
mixture
forced.
of both. Where like if I'm, you know, going and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna just pour water on my face at the beginning of every video," it's not going to last because it's not authentic and it's not going to be consistent because it's not me, right? But when I have something like I have and it was like crazy when I got it, but I have Instagram and Facebook tattooed on my neck. So when I got the
Hey.
tattoos on my neck, it's like people were like, "Oh," and I remember I was like at a day job and stuff, and everybody was like my former day job, everybody was like, "Oh, yo, you're crazy for doing this and you're crazy for doing that." And I'm like, for one, you're having the conversation with me right now. And now I get to talk about my Instagram, I get to talk about my Facebook, I get to talk about all of my different platforms because you're now asking this question. And every time I see somebody, they ask me and I go, "Yo, the reason why is because of this." But also, I would have probably gotten them anyway because I'm like I really, really am passionate about social media and it's something that's it's just expression. So also like with me having my hair like this, people were I'm a like a big Rengoku fan, but people were like,
Oh, man,
"Oh, did I
honestly.
get it because of that?" I didn't get it because of that actually. I actually just got the hair like this because of like seasonally, I just was like, "Ooh, it would be cool if August was coming up and I got the hair done like this on some like summer, late summer vibes or something like that." Because that was the color like that was in my mind and the feeling that I got with that. So I was like, "Oh, I should do that." Ended up getting it, and then everybody kept saying in my comments, "Rengoku ass hair." I hadn't even watched Demon Slayer at the time,
Happy
and
accident,
they was like
baby.
Zenitsu ass hair, and I was like, "What?" So then I went and I watched it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I liked Rengoku, so I started cosplaying as Rengoku. And now, if you ask somebody, they'll be like, "Oh, he did it because of this," and I didn't. So to me, it's really just like my style, and these are things that I already do.
Yeah.
But I also realize that it's a strength because when
1000%.
somebody scrolls and they see the hair, it's gonna make them stop. When they scroll and they see the
Yep.
shiesty or something like that, they're
That
gonna
shit
stop.
work.
So
Yeah, exactly.
you know, I know that that's a thing, but I also know that it has to be done in a way that's authentic. So, I got asked about this before, where somebody had asked me that, like, "Yo, do you think that you would have to do things that?" She was interviewing me and asked, like, "Do I think I would have to do things that would like be more and more interesting?" And then when I told her something, and she was like, "Oh wow," I was like, "That's just a real situation." I think that a lot of times people hold back things, and that's what ends up stifling them from having that because they're so inhibited. I go out and I have like my hair or I have like this and stuff, and I get like weird looks, and I always think to myself how sad it is that you think that this is so outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like you think that this is so crazy when it's like really it's kind of weird that you think it's that weird. Like it's
Yeah,
really
word. Like you not wearing it. Why do you like?
Yeah, it's
Why is it
like,
yeah,
like?
why are you
like
thinking like
bro,
that?
Yeah,
I see
yeah,
somebody with blue hair and I'm like, "Oh, that's fire." I don't go,
yeah.
Because it's like, what do you? That bothers your soul that much to see something that's not like what you would call the norm. Is just like that. Your mind is so restricted.
Yeah. If anything, I look at shit like that and I'm like, damn, I could never pull that off. That's just fire, yo.
Yeah,
I'm like
even that. I see somebody and I automatically I'm like, yo, man, like, damn, man, I wish I could do that. But I realize it's not really my style, and then I continue with my shit. But I don't never go like, what are they doing? Like,
yeah. There's too much like first instincts for people to go towards something negative. Where, I'm gonna look at the positives, and if I see something like you said, that's fire. Yo, keep doing you. Like this, don't let anyone like limit your creative freedom. Like express yourself the way that you want to express yourself.
1000%. Because when you hate, you end up like Drake.
I got.
You going through it, man.
Darrian, how many times did you run back the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta versus Tamagami 2 fight? Like, whoo,
bro.
When that's like
the kicks, the poses, man, that was
the callbacks to other Vegeta fights.
It's the hate is so real though, because that went so crazy and went so viral, but it was like people did not want to admit it. And it's like I'm looking at it going viral. I'm looking at it going crazy. Right now, you'll have stuff with Solo Leveling go like crazy. You'll have stuff with Bleach go crazy. But because of where Dragon Ball is, people just want to hate on it. So rather than just be like, hey, this is a great moment, you'll have people blatantly like, it's like your arm is on fire and they're like, yo, man, shit ain't hot. Like, no,
you not burning.
I can see the fire, bro. Like I can see.
Yeah, first degree burns is cool. How about some second degree burns, brother?
Yeah, like bro, I can see the flames. And you gotta do is just like, what really is fire? I mean,
right?
Like, all right, bro, you're right.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you got it.
Feels
that
quite
ain't fire.
chilly to me.
That's just the absence of water. That's all that is.
Feels quite chilly to me, actually. Like, yo, bro, I'm looking at this thing going crazy.
Yeah.
That's facts. They just don't want Vegeta to win, bro. Like they just don't want him to have nothing at all.
Now it's really Dragon Ball. Like it really is
1000%.
It really is people that really just don't want, and a lot of times it'd be younger people because it's that whole Jordan and LeBron thing. When you're not a part of something, because that's not really their generation, and I understand that. So when you have like older people or you have people who are into it and they're saying like this is the greatest thing ever, and now you're sitting there and they're like, all right, man, it's the greatest thing ever. I know I wasn't there, blah, 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 blah. After a while, it starts to be like, you know what? Fuck that thing. It's not the greatest thing ever. You know what? I wasn't there, and it's not. I'm going to show you why it's not the greatest thing. But it starts to be at a certain point. Because literally right now, Dragon Ball can drop anything, and it will be at the top of
facts.
Everything.
100%.
Straight up. Every time they do something, it's going to be the top of everything without even trying. And that's just what they built up.
Because their marketing strategies are fucking terrible. Like, but that shit still go off, just off vibes and word of mouth. But it's like me try to talk about this shit all the time. Like, bro, y'all should probably promo the shit out of this, bro. Like, I shouldn't be caring about this through the grapevine, dog.
They get to a point where like, listen, we ain't got to, man.
Look, that's literally where they're at. They're like, yo, we could just make shit and it'll catch on. Somebody will see it and tell everybody else about it. That's facts. Well, Darren, we could literally talk to you all day about this shit. And what we say here, like once you're on this podcast, once you are a forever repeat guest. So we would love to have you come back on here again as many times as you want to come on this, as many times as we'll have you, good brother. So before we close this bad boy out, let the people know how they can find you, how they can support what you got going on, what you got coming up.
So I'm destnybrushz. I need to get it easier to like remember name, but DESTNY brush Z on everything, on all platforms. And we got the live at 5, which I can't wait to have you guys on. We got the live at 5 on Instagram every day. Today, Sundays is the open day. So Monday is Anime Addict. Tuesday was Black Boma, but she needed to take a break from that because she's doing like
Yeah,
a
out here
thousand
killing
different
shit.
things,
Shout out
right?
to Black
Right.
Ballin'.
So now it's another open day, and I'm trying to like fill that up. Wednesday is a guy named Craftsman Tim. He's killing it on Threads right now. Thursday is Bad Blur Bay. Friday is Black Boma. That's the day because Daima. We gotta talk about Daima.
Hey,
So
Diamond Day,
hey.
baby.
so she is on that day. She ain't leaving that day. And then Saturday is my man B Jax 9000 from the Retro Pioneers podcast. So we got that every single day at 5 p.m. We're going live on Instagram and we're talking about anime and talking about nerd culture and fan fiction and just everything. So that's really like the big thing, and I'm just dropping reels every day, man, and making content, and that's where you can find me all the time on all of those things. destnybrushz.com, everywhere,
Let's
bro.
get it.
Let's
Let's get it.
fucking go. And we'll obviously include all of that in the episode description so that everybody can support and show love. Because, my brother, if no one has told you today, yesterday, and or tomorrow, you are killing shit. We see
Keep
what you are
going.
doing.
Keep
You are an
going.
inspiration, sir. But yeah, please do not stop, bro. Because it's like you're not only inspiring the people like me and Trav who are in the space doing the shit, but people who might think like, hey, you know what? I can do this. Like you're a living testament that hard work does pay off, bro. So
Listen,
keep doing what you're doing.
what I will tell you, because we talk about like props, and I can't wait till y'all get me the clips and stuff of this, because
Oh, we got you. We got
I'm
you,
a
bro.
post I'm a post maniac, so I can't wait to
Let's
just post.
go.
But the thing that I seen with you guys, that I saw this with Funny Marco where he was talking about it. I took that advice to heart. Do your homework. A lot of people treat what they like do with this social media and like the content creation thing. They treat it like it's like a side thing or a game,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna, if you give it 2%, you're gonna get 2% back, right? Maybe less sometimes, because it's like you got to put a whole lot in to get. You might get 5.5% back because you put 2. But
Right.
with you guys, what I love is before we got on, it was like you had the pre show conversation to like really get things ready and talk to me and let me know. Then you had the sheet that was sent out, the PDF that was sent out to let me know like, hey, this is the points that we're gonna cover, the reminder, like all of these things make it real. Like and I know that that's not from just like thin air. That's because you've worked on this, and because you've done the research to find out how the podcast is supposed to do this, how interviews are done, and that's very important. People a lot of times, and I've had situations where I've done stuff that's professional with people, and they look at me like, "Why we got to do all that?" And that's the horrible mind state of,
Mm-hmm.
bro, treat this like a job if you want it to be a job.
100%.
1,000.
And I love that y'all
100%.
do that, because I'm like, yo, I like this. It geared me up to feel more like this was what I feel like it should be. Like, this should be on the same level as Joe Rogan, right? It should be on the same level as
Let's
Theo Vaughn,
go.
right? So you got to treat it that same way and be like, yo, what does Theo Vaughn do before? What does Joe Rogan do before? Da 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 da. And that's how you get those successful things. Like, like you was talking about vibration. Like, get on that same vibration with the guys that's doing it at that high level. So I think that's the thing that's the most important. And I really respect that a lot from you guys. And I'm inspired by seeing you guys doing that. So I really
We
love this.
appreciate that. We
Oh,
appreciate that so much,
listen,
bro.
we loved having you on. We love connecting with you, and definitely want to continue working with you in the future, supporting you in the future. And it just,
Appreciate it.
it just means a lot to us whenever we're able to link up with like-minded people. And that's the beauty of doing this all, is just, we didn't know you 2 months ago, and now it's like, yo,
It's your family,
Darrian,
bro.
that's the homie, man. Like this is it. I love meeting new people. I love meeting people like yourself, and it's just a blessing to even be here and have the opportunity to do that. So thank you for joining us, man.
Same here, bro. Same here.
It's been a pleasure. Well, Trav, I love to always give you the last words for wisdom if you have any.
Oh,
I
wisdom.
would say, Embrace your inner nerd and break away from the herd.
Oh, can't fuck with that. Can't fuck with that. Well, Darren, this is the first of many times that I'm sure that we'll be doing things together, whether it's on our platform or your platform. I look forward to the magic that the nerd black magic excellence that we can all create together. All the names that have been dropped: Tony, Black Boma, Bad Nerdbait, all of y'all are killing that shit. We would love to have y'all on too. Shout outs to y'all. Our man Darrian is killing it. He's holding y'all down again. He has made promotion and celebration of other creators in this space as a part of his brand. Y'all all can take extreme detailed notes. Love should not be optional, bro. It should be a requirement in this space. Like, just love one another. Earth can be fire when we let it be, bro. Like, Earth can be a really reciprocation, bro. Earth can be a dope ass planet when we really let it be, bro. We just gotta let it be. Like, that's
definitely
it,
man.
That's it. But lifers, we call you guys the lifers because you quite literally put the L into DB4L, and we know that we can't grow this spirit bomb without you. So lend us your energy by way of likes, subscribes, follows on YouTube, the social medias, and all that Jupiter jazz parts 1 and 2. And the easiest way to do that and support our guy Darrian is by clicking the all-powerful link tree of might in the episode description below. And like we always say in the Kame house that Toriyama built, whether you watch it or you read it, we all need it. So open up your nerd eye, and we will see you next time on Dragon Ball Faux Life. Don't I know? Shout outs to Super Producer Mikey and Dragon Paul GT.
We love you, Mikey. And shout outs to y'all. All caps. And tails. And later.
Later, nerds.
Peace.
Mortals, listen up. It's your god of destruction, Beerus here. Subscribe and follow the Dragon Ball for Life podcast, or else you shall be erased from existence. Hakai.